We're here at the Rollright stones in Oxfordshire, one of the most beautiful stone circles in Britain.
The Rollright stones were erected in stages between the early Neolithic period and the early Bronze Age. They consist of a collapsed dolmen called the Whispering Knights, which is nearly 6,000 years old, a stone circle of 77 stones called the King's Men, and a single monolith called the King's Stone.
The Rollright stone circle is incredible because it retains its circular shape. Avebury and Stonehenge are ruinous. And when a stone circle retains that circular shape, it starts to generate a particular type of energy called form energy. Ancient magicians knew about form energy. When you cast a circle of salt, for example, it will behave in the same way as a stone circle. It will start generating 7 bands of energy known as energy bands that are the form energy. So in one respect, Rollright can help manifest things. And when you douse them, if you start on the outside of the stone circle and you move forward, it's quite remarkable. The form energy will make one rod, if you hold just one rod, go towards you, and that would indicate a male band. And then you don't move your rod back into search. Keep the rod there, move forward, and then the rod, when it hits another band, will point straight ahead, and so forth 7 times.
There we go. Entered into the circle and the rods have reacted. So we're going to clear our mind again and then continue on towards the centre of the circle. And there we go again. Another band of energies. And as we continue on, should probably do it again, as we're told there are actually 7 different ones. There you go, that's 3 if we count the first one. Oh, hold on, let's do it again. So that's 4, 5, 6, 'and in the centre we have the 7th, confirming that there is 7 bands of energy here. And I'm not a dowser, and yet I can do it myself. Another thing is supposed to happen in the middle, which may or may not happen, but I think what's important here is that we were told that there were 7 bands of energy going around the circle, and we detected them. But what are these energies? Well, back in the very late 70s, the so-called Dragon Project was conceived by Paul Devereux, who was then the editor of the Lay Hunter magazine. And the idea was to try and find scientific evidence to back up the idea that there are earth energies that are very clearly associated with telluric currents, electrical currents of the earth, and to see if there are actually truly any anomalous energies that had not previously been detected or understood in science. So a project was initiated that took several years to gain the results that were needed, and the end product of this was that yes, there are indeed anomalous energy effects at such places as stone circles as this, which were constructed perhaps for maybe even 5,000 years ago, but that these are anomalous readings of known electromagnetic energies on various different frequencies, various different levels. I was actually quite chuffed to find that I did actually detect exactly 7 bands of energy, which is what other dowsers have found themselves. And all right, some people might suggest it's auto-suggestion of some kind, Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what this tells us is that we should be looking very seriously at the idea that stone circles like this do in some way either contain or even generate these circular or perhaps even spiraling energies which we can conceive in terms of a vortex.
One of the results that I found using my low frequency electromagnetic pickup, I suppose it's very low frequency radio, no stations, you don't hear the radio stations, but you hear the general background noise. And as I walked between the Rollright circle itself and the Kingstone, I could cross two bands where this noise increased in volume. You could walk backwards and forwards across it, and this noise would rise and fall every time I crossed these two bands.
The Dragon Project concluded that magnetic energy was moving in a spiral pattern within the stone circle. Ultrasound pulses were detected there, as well as various magnetic anomalies. Radiation has been detected along the road that runs between the stone circle and the Kingstone. People have claimed to feel tingling within the circle and say that they've received electric shocks from touching the stones.
That energy band that's on the actual stones, that generates what's called a circular type of earth energy that spins round and round and round and round, and then you have the exit gate, and the exit gate is very energetic, and what that will do, it will cause that spin energy, as it's called, going round and round and round the stone circle, to leave the stone circle and then target an outlier on Spelsbury Down. It's called the Horstone. So that's where energy is transferred from a stone circle to an outlier. And that's one of the most important things about Rollright.
Oh wow. Actually wasn't expecting this to happen. But it is. Slowly. Look. Clockwise. And now stopped.
I'm approaching the centre of the Rollright stones here, and I'm using the dowsing rods, and we're seeing if there is any kind of reaction that I can get myself. Now certainly we've got them crossing and spinning a little bit. Oh, this is interesting. And as I pass out of it, then it's going back to the way that it was when I entered in, which suggests that what I'm picking up now is the last of the 7 bands of energy that radiate out from the centre or are contained within the circle of stones themselves.
This is amazing. Look at this.
Yeah.
So we can say that there are strange energies here, but why? Well, the dowsers tell us that there are bands of energy, either in rings or in spirals, going into the very centre of the circle here, which is this spot behind me to the side. And this seems to be evidence of the presence of some kind of energy system, perhaps a vortex that was purposely created by the megalithic people at this site to enhance and contain a natural power. But why would they do this? Well, it seems as if there's a consciousness process going on, that it would affect the brain, the brain itself would affect the energies of the site, and it may well be that one of the ideas was to try and open up a portal, both on a consciousness level and on a physical level as well, with the idea of projecting either their mind or their whole self out of this reality.
The Rollright stones are also associated with sightings of strange light phenomena such as luminous orbs or will-o'-the-wisp, which were historically perceived to be fairies. The stone circle is thought by some to be a portal to other dimensions.
It's whoever's on this side gets it a little bit after the other one, I think. Four.
Yep.
5.
5, yep.
Six.
6, yep.
And 7.
7. We get to the centre.
So cool. Across the road from the Rollright ring, you have the Kingstone. It stands alone, a monolith. Each of the stones are generating energy bands. Now, if you imagine that one particular band is the strongest, it's the second band above ground level, and this is called crosstalk. It's when an energy band hits another stone and another stone and another stone, and they're always going to target an outlier and take the energy from the stone circle to that outlier, which then will take the energy to another outlier or a stone circle. At Rollright, it creates the most incredible energy pattern to do with bands, and that's called a ley triangulation. So if you imagine you've got the circle and you've got the outlier, and all of those energy bands are creating a linear line, laser-like of energy, that all of those 77 stones create 77 bands that are hitting and targeting the Kingstone, roughly speaking about 10 inches from its apex.
This is the Kingstone monolith. It's taller than all the stones in the Rollright stone circle, and it's the newest part of the complex.
I think I might have made quite an important discovery here at the Rollright stones today, because standing at the centre, I was immediately drawn towards this particular stone that has a hole in it, and you find these so-called porthole stones at many other sites around the world, at Göbekli Tepe for instance, at Kara stone circles in Armenia, in Ireland, in Britain and elsewhere, and often they are an alignment towards something important. But each side of this, it seems as if there are stones specifically placed to create a gateway, and each of those two stones in my mind looks as if they are alive and are creating the image through that of a head of some kind of creature facing away from that whole stone. And the same with the other side here. There's a head of a creature, here's their neck, here's the top of their shoulders, and here's the rest of their body. Now you could interpret what type of animal we might be looking at here in different ways. Some might see it as canine, but I personally see it as feline. To me it's like twin, let's say lions, maybe panthers, facing away from this central stone, almost as if that is creating and emphasizing that this stone is a gateway. And it's no coincidence that if you stand in the center and look through that hole and over the top of this stone itself, it faces towards the Whispering Knights dolmen, which is at least 1,000, perhaps even 1,500 years older than the stone circle itself. And I think that this alignment is honouring some kind of place of the ancestors that was seen to be connected with the Whispering Knights, and that we may have just discovered the true orientation of the Rollright stones. I think it's no coincidence that that is pointing towards the Whispering Knights, which is an older monument. We're at the Whispering Knights. This is one of the monuments that's associated with the Rollright stones. It's off to the east, probably just a few hundred yards, and it was constructed around 3800 BC by the Neolithic peoples, some of the first farmers that actually entered this area, cultivated the fields and produced crop. And by the time that the Rollright stones was constructed, probably around 2000 BC, this would have been seen as a place of the ancestors. And I believe that the gateway that we just discovered at the Rollright stones is deliberately facing towards the Whispering Knights as a honour to the ancestors of this place, and that probably they themselves would have brought their own dead and put them somewhere either within the dolmen, which was once a chamber that would have been covered over with earth. You'd have had access into it, there would have been bones placed in there, skulls, and you would have venerated you know, your ancestors, the people of the past, by doing rituals and ceremonies. So we're part of a huge ceremonial landscape of different sites with different functions built at different times.
And what's going on here is you're entering on a female aquastat, which is lots of parallel lines, okay, and you're entering in on that, and it turns and does this. So it's quite a powerful one. That's very powerful. It will take you to the center if you do that. But over here with the stone number 1 in the Rollright numbering system, it's the tallest stone opposite the entrance. So you can't miss it. And that's on the crossing point of an aquastat energy. Again, it's got a lot of healing energy. These are healing energies with lots of lines like this. And when two female currents cross, this is underground yin water, they make a very beautiful pattern like this. And this is a pattern like that. So it creates an enclosed area, and the stone is sited on that, so that is having quite a lot of healing energy that it's emitting now. And if you put your back against that, you may feel healing energy, which is the opposite of what's called chronic geopathic stress, because when you get two male streams, groundwater, that's water that's falling from the sky, cross at a near right angle, these are crossing at near right angles, it does this in terms of dowsing energy, and that's very detrimental to your health.
So these are two female currents?
They're two females that are generating positive harmonic healing energy, because you have in dowsing terms, this is an underground stream of groundwater, and I'm drawing it simply for you, but its actual pattern is 3 lines like this. Yeah, that's its actual pattern. Now, so if we take one underground stream like this, just one, it has what's called a parallel. So opposite in this direction, it repeats its pattern, and the same in that direction, it repeats that pattern. The distance from that line to that line is the depth of the stream. It's called the Bishop's rule, depthing rule. So that's geopathic stress, groundwater, especially when it crosses at a near right angle, because it produces these what's called feathers in like this. But when you get it crossing with the female waters on stone number 1 at Rollright, that's the healing stone. And a lot of people feel the benefit of the energy, especially if you put your hands towards it. So that's going on at Rollright. But the main thing at the Rollright stone circle are form energy. So when you get a stone circle that retains its circular shape, it can still produce form energy, unlike Avebury and Stonehenge. And the form energy is concentric circles, 7 concentric circles that are going like this, created by the circular pattern. Even if you did a circle of salt on the floor like an occultist would do, that would generate 7 circles on the inside. Each one has a polarity, so it would go male, female, etc. 7 times towards the centre, causing a dowsing rod, if you start at the stones here with your back against these stones, to react in a particular manner. So that's very, very strong indeed. All of these stones are producing energy bands, which I presume the king stone is going to be on the opposite side of the road there. So if you imagine the 77 stones are creating a rectangular pattern targeting the king stone. That's going on there. Ellen, that Gary Bilcliffe discovered, is doing this. She's skimming the front of the entrance there. So we've got a crossing point of a female stream with Ellen, and then Ellen goes on, I think, in this direction, and they're the main earth energies at Rollright.
I measured Andrew's brainwaves inside the Rollright stone circle, and here they are compared to the baseline data we got in my living room. And the alpha, beta, and gamma eventually balance each other out, but the delta and theta waves stay consistently higher throughout the Rollright readings. Delta waves are associated with bodily healing and promote relaxation, cell regeneration, and improved cognitive function. Theta waves are associated with altered and trance states of consciousness. They promote relaxation, creativity, memory retrieval, and intuition. The first time I came to Rollright, the stone circle felt like a very powerful outflow energy vortex, inducing an intense feeling of euphoria and the sensation of soaring high up into the air. The second time I came here, it felt more like an inflow vortex with more of a calm, grounded quality. Both outflowing and inflowing energies are likely present here. This is one of my favorite places in the world. It actually feels magical.